So welcome to the Panic Button. I'm Nina. That's Jessie. Nice to see ya. Good morning.
She took away my chance.
I did.
You know what I do at the beginning of these videos. She took that away from me. Leave a comment if you're as angry as I am.
So Charlie Kirk put out a video. He's on a tour right now, this college tour called You're Being Brainwashed or You're Brainwashed or something like that. He's with Vivek Ramaswamy as well.
Okay.
So the video that's going around, this woman came up to the podium to debate these two guys, and her nipple popped out. And
Okay, hang on. How do your nipple just pop out?
I don't know. I haven't actually seen it.
I don't think it just pop. It doesn't have a mind of its own. It's not like over here trying to take a walk.
Okay, well, they said that she purposely popped out her nipple to get Charlie Kirk's video demonetized, or his channel demonetized. So I'd like to make an unbiased female opinion. I think it's more towards the end where the nipple pops out, but we're going to listen to the debate first.
Do you feel proud of yourself for debating college kids who are unprepared to speak in front of an audience like yourself? Hold on. You're 30 years old. We can agree you're 30 years old, right? Do you think that's a little bit silly?
Are you a voter?
I am a voter. I'm a registered voter.
I vote and you vote. So I'm talking to voters of this country that will determine the future of Western civilization. That's what I'm doing here today. Yeah?
Just to start with what she said, you will never be prepared for conversations like that because there is no level of preparation you can have outside of knowing what you know and offering your opinions. She's saying, you're a grown man, you're f***ing with kids. That's what she's getting at here. You're coming up to a bunch of kids who just got out of high school, and don't you think that you, a 30-year-old man, shouldn't be f***ing with 18-year-olds and making them feel bad?
They're legal adults.
Yes, and he's not, like, messing with them in any other way. He's asking them politically charged questions and having a debate, which is totally fine at any age.
Yeah, she's the one that walked up to the microphone.
Right,
No one made her do
If
it.
you're so ill-prepared, then why are you here? I guarantee you, Charlie Kirk has gone to many campuses. I guarantee you there's at least 20 kids at your school who are prepared for that conversation. Be it far left, be it far right.
Wait, hold on. How is it any different than a professor talking to you?
Then a professor talking to you? Who are you?
Well, important enough for you to come up to a microphone.
Actually, when I first saw this ad, I thought it was like an improv comedy thing. It looked so ridiculous that I didn't even think it was real.
Well, no, you could see. Look how popular Trump is on your campus. How does that make you feel? That's not comedy. That is a 5-alarm fire for Kamala Harris, because she's probably going to lose Pennsylvania.
Look.
But no, I just want to be clear. Is there something wrong with talking to voters?
No, there's...
It seems like the entire reason she's up here is just to, like,
Belittle? Troll?
Troll, just to kind of, I don't think belittle, because she's not belittling them, she's belittling herself. She clearly doesn't know who he is. She probably thought this was just another Trump rally, and now she's coming up and she's eating her own words. Like,
Okay, my opinion is she knows exactly who this is. She was kind of caught by what Charlie Kirk just stated. So she already knows that she's kind of losing this argument. And what do we know about people who, when they're losing an argument, they usually go to ad hominems, personal attacks, which is what she's doing. She's pretty much saying, like, oh, I thought this was just a joke.
Yep.
But that's because she's embarrassed. So normally she just goes to personal attacks, like most people who aren't, who just kind of go there to be bitchy and instead of actually having a conversation. Yeah.
No, there's nothing wrong with talking.
Well, that's what we're doing here today. It's an open mic.
I think that you push a dangerous agenda.
Such as?
Your stance on abortion rights, for example.
There we go. Okay, so
let me ask a question. What is your name?
Jean.
Jean, and what is your understanding of the current Republican Party's stance on federal intervention in abortion?
Well, I know that they want to bring it back to the states, right?
So it sounds like you do know that the Republican Party's current stance on abortion is they're against a federal ban on abortion.
I do understand
and we're talking
that,
about a presidential election as the important election that we're talking about here.
I understand that, yes.
Great. So,
here's the difference I've noticed with more Republicans than Democrats is Republicans are willing to have the conversation. They literally want people who disagree with them to come up to the microphones first. But you don't see that on the other side. You don't see people who are far left, they're progressives. You don't see them
bring up a redneck to talk at the head first.
To debate them, to ask questions, to bring up concerns. You never see the Democrats or progressive, the liberals. You don't ever see them doing that ever, unless people agree with them. Then they're like, okay, let's talk. But they usually think the people that disagree with them are touting hate speech, are evil people, and they don't want to bother with them.
Oh, yes, and I think Vivek, this is why I liked Vivek, right? He makes very...
Vivek?
Vivek. This is why I like this guy. I don't care if I say it wrong. They know I like him. He took something that is the biggest issue on the Democrat side of the bill and just completely dismissed it from this election. He said, and I quote, "Republicans don't want to federally ban abortion. We left it to the states. So what does that have to do with the presidential election? Smooth as shit."
So, again, I think this open dialogue is great. I think it's great you're here challenging Charlie, and I think it's great that he's willing to travel campuses across this country to talk to the next generation. We need more conversation. Now, where's the disagreement, though, on content? Because you could criticize style or why you're talking to people or dunk on someone personally, but where do you actually disagree with the substance?
I agree with the way that you edit content and specifically frame it so that people look bad talking to you. The way that you edit your content.
We post unedited content.
Let me just ask you one thing though, because personal insults can fly in all directions.
I was gonna say if she didn't know who he was, then how does she know his
how he
content?
edits, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kind of blew yourself in there, sister.
Right, and on top of that, you said her nip slips. She's already playing with her pants. Like, what adult plays with their clothes like that? Actually, I just want to, tell you that you don't, listen to people, so that's why I hate you. Republican.
Or they play with their hair.
Let me just ask you one thing though, because personal insults can fly in all directions. Where is an area where you have a disagreement with the conservative movement, with Donald Trump, with Charlie Kirk, perhaps with myself? I was a presidential candidate last year. I think we need to talk about that more in the open, and the more we do, the stronger our country is going to be. We got a long line of people, but I want to hear from you one substantive area where you have an authentic disagreement, and I'd be glad to address it. I'm sure Charlie would too.
Just in anything. Political...
Relating to any political topic where you have a disagreement. Let's air it.
Okay. I disagree with some of the laws that are being pushed in Congress that are against the LGBTQ community and the trans community.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I'm going to give you my view, and then I want to hear yours.
Okay.
My view is that if you're a fully grown adult...
What did she say?
She has an issue with some of the laws trying to be passed for LGBTQ people.
Okay.
And trans.
What laws?
I mean, I don't want to have to pay for their transition. I also don't want the self-ID thing to continue. I'd go for a law that makes it so you have to have a therapist or a licensed psychiatrist confirm that you do suffer from gender dysphoria. Things like that, you know?
Gatekeeping? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see. This is why I don't want to pay for their gender transition, because it used to be that there was a path you had to take in order to transition. You know, a year or two of therapy, you had to do a year of social transition before you even started on hormones, stuff like that. So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with old school way of doing it.
Right, but now the majority of people who are getting these surgeries it's all cosmetic. So it would be like taxpayers paying for
a boob jobs.
Yeah, that's where...
Or a nose job if you want to be less grotesque.
Right, that's why I'm against taxpayers paying for gender transition, because it's not specifically medical.
But if those cases were rare, would you do it?
Like the trans medicalists.
If those cases were rare and they were maintained by a psychiatrist or psychologist who has to confirm that this person suffers from gender dysphoria, if that were the case, would you be willing to pay for it out of your taxes?
Only if the psychiatrists weren't pushed
No, I mean old school,
Yeah, then I think that would be okay. But because there's no rule about that, there's no law about that, there's no, it's just cosmetic. because of the self-ID thing. I have the mind of the transmedicalist, not of the too cutes, which too cutes is if you self-ID as something, you are that something, and taxpayers should pay for whatever surgery you want to get. I think that's bullshit. I think that's disgusting. And the self-ID leaves room to invade women's spaces and all this shit, so I'm completely against the self-ID.
I self-ID as thin. Do I get free Ozempic now?
Right, you should, technically, based on their logic, but the problem also with the too cutes logic is that it constantly changes. They have to be right, so their logic will change all the time, so they're right. So I can't imagine making laws around the too cutes ideology because it wouldn't be able to stand because their ideology and rules keep changing, you know? But the transmedicalists, they always stay the same. They always believe the same thing. They know it's a medical condition that's different.
I hear you. The reason I don't think I'd even want to support it with my tax dollars then,
Okay.
I was just thinking about this the whole time, is I'm going to give you a personal example. When I was younger, I was sent to a cardiologist, specialty, specialized doctor, because I had anxiety. But no one knew it was anxiety, so it must have been something with my heart. And I was put on blood pressure medication, I was monitored like crazy, and it was all a misdiagnosis. If my tax dollars go to changing someone who doesn't even need to fucking be changed, I'm part of the problem. That whole system is part of the problem. If someone actually has that issue, you can offer affordable rates for those people. But it's insane to me to have to pay for anyone's. Do you pay for someone else's heart surgery?
I don't. If they're on Medicaid or Medicare, I think
Then
majority
yes,
of it gets paid for. Yeah.
But that's also
think.
for elderly or disabled people.
Yeah.
It's completely
Poor people.
separate.
Poor people.
And that's also a medical intervention that they're having a heart attack. We need to fix their heart. It's not, is your head a little wonky woo woo? Why don't we cut off your Jenny Wennies and let you have something new?
Well, that's why safeguards were put in place.
That's why they should be kept in place.
Everything changed when the self-ID gender ideology crowd, trans radical activists came to the mix.
I was born in 99, and I can tell you, my generation is trend hoppers. That's what they do. One to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. There's going to be so many. Like, you're worried about reproduction right now, that we're not having enough babies, and yet you're cutting off genitals, and you're injecting hormones that will completely leave this generation infertile.
And that's not even including the whole abortion thing, which I'm for abortion, but I mean, if you're talking about wanting more people in the world, maybe you shouldn't be against abortion.
I know this is
that's
kind of contrary to our channel, but I'm very aggressively pro-abortion. Up until like 5 months, I'm a huge pro-abortion fan. 4 months, 3 months. End of the first trimester. That sounds healthy. Yeah.
I don't know.
9 weeks is a heartbeat. That's way too soon still.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. I'd say I'm just pro-choice, but to a point.
But you have to have a point. What's your point? What's your cutoff? I will say I'm not well informed enough to say. I think 9 weeks is too soon. I think end of the first trimester
you
is the
just
end.
asked me a question.
Yes, now you.
I think that there should be studies done to find out when a woman should know that she's pregnant. You know when you have your period, that you're getting your period, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have the feelings, the bodily feelings, like, I'm going to get my period soon, right? There's ways of knowing a woman knows if she's pregnant,
I
right?
think if you haven't had a period in 3 months, then you should probably fucking know.
Right. I think that should be the cutoff, is when you unless you're a fucking child, like, the exceptions are different. But if you're a grown woman and you're having unprotected sex and you're not keeping track of your period and you're just being all willy-nilly with it, I think that's a giant problem. And if you have gone like 3 months without even checking and you're getting bigger and your tits are hurting and you're starting to gain weight and you're not taking any responsibility for the fact that maybe you're pregnant.
Right.
I mean, if you don't know within
how far along
3 months, you lost your chance at that point. Now, is it harsh to say you lost your window of opportunity to get an abortion? Yes. Now it's kind of like, well,
adoption.
I
know there's a bunch of kids there, but it's not like you can't choose to put your kid up. You always have that choice.
Right. If the person is mentally slow and they're not able to kind of comprehend that they might be pregnant, that's also a different story. But they should have caseworkers and people that are watching them. You know what I mean? And
You have way too much trust in the system.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about that.
Grown adult, 18 or above, you're free to live how you want, dress how you want, marry who you want if you want, if you're over the age of 18.
I agree.
But you are not free to indoctrinate children in schools who are not yet of the age of consent. You are not free, just as you're a 17-year-old or a 15-year-old can't get a tattoo on their own, I don't think that you should be able to go or until the age of 18. And so the lines that I draw here is that men are free to claim to be women and swim in swimming pools. You're not free to claim trophies in a women's sports competition. You're not free to enter a women's locker room. You're not free to change a language, and you're not free to actually indoctrinate our children who are under the age of 5 in schools. Do we agree on the fact that adults should be able to live freely while still treating children differently? If so, we're on the same side of this issue.
Listen, I agree with the majority of what you said. However, I don't think that you're understanding the implications of the laws that are trying to be passed.
No, you're not explaining. That's the problem. You are not explaining. He caught you, and you're like,
What you're
no,
hearing-
see, you don't understand. And it's like, no, you don't actually understand.
What you're hearing is like the embodiment of stage fright, the shaking in
Yeah.
her voice, the like,
Yeah.
I don't know what my point is anymore. It's
So I'm
gone
switching. Yeah.
because I'm nervous and I didn't really have it ready to go when I got up here. And that's why she's got that little smile and she's like tucking her hair behind her ear and she's like, you have to listen to me. I hate it. Why do you hate it? It's wrong. What's wrong? Everything.
See, you just don't understand the implications.
Well,
No, you're not explaining
I have a
anything.
lot
You, but my only ask is, forget the personal attacks or the stylistic attacks. Focus on substance. The more we debate that, the stronger we're going to be as a country. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I don't think you're focusing on substance, though. That's the issue.
Hold on. Look, he intentionally tried to provoke substance out of you, and you said, well, I'm worried about some laws Congress should pass. I have to ask.
Oh, there it is. I just have, I just really need to know this, guys. Ladies, I need to know this.
Hang on. Look at how high, it wasn't even the low side of her shirt.
I know. I figured it was going to be the other breast that was exposed.
we were watching the same one with the coffee cup on it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's just
how did it fall? How did it fall?
It didn't fall. She definitely did that.
Did she
on
pull it?
purpose.
Oh.
You see her pull it down.
Was it uncomfortable? Like
You watched her do it.
no, I saw her do it. I saw her pull it down.
You said, well, I'm worried about some laws Congress should pass. I have to ask, what laws are you talking about? Can you be specific?
I'm sorry, I'm very nervous, but
I'm nervous because my tits out.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, maybe she had a nip itch. Okay, that's reasonable. My question to ladies is, how do you not feel the breeze?
She
Because
definitely
for
did that on
me,
purpose.
I would feel the breeze.
Because look at how she's covering herself up. She did it on purpose.
If she did it,
I mean, let's watch it and then we'll come back and we'll debate it again.
when
Can you be specific?
I'm sorry, I'm very nervous, but this is what you do. This is what you do. You take people and you put them under the spotlight.
maybe her nipples are high, and I don't know. I can't believe she didn't.
She literally did that. No, she
Feel
did that. You watched her. The second she moved her hand, she was pinching fabric. She was pinching fabric. She let her hand go to make a point, and the shirt went floop over her nipple again. What do you mean? Just one more time.
You take people
And open. Done.
I didn't ask.
See? She went, oh no, it's covered again.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I'm all for defending women.
I'm not doing this to defend women. I'm just being honest with my opinion.
I mean, she definitely felt that breeze. I didn't feel it. And because she looked at it after she did it, I'm sorry, I'm just nervous because my titty's out.
I have seen women who have had their boobs out and not realized it.
Is she drunk?
Some of them were.
That's the only time I've seen ladies with nipples they don't know are out is when they're drunk.
Actually, the first time I saw a woman...
Straight nipping?
Oh, it was like more like stray boobing.
Free titties.
Yeah. And they didn't realize they were out. It was actually a trans woman.
Okay, and
It was crazy.
I was doing something theater-wise, and I met, like, the Broadway cast of Cabaret backstage, and that was the first time I saw someone, like, expose themselves. But it was a lady, and she was just adjusting her costume and bent over and just kind of, like, you know, she wasn't, like, nipples, you know what I mean? She was just kind of adjusting her outfit. But I definitely noticed them, and I was like, hey, you know, like, good day for me. Like, that was it. That wasn't like she was, like, I wasn't, like, thinking, like, I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking, how can you have your nipple out right now? Mm-hmm. I was just excited for the moment. I was like 14.
Oh, okay.
Approximating, not saying like to say like.
Yeah, it's when you're like girl crazy.
Oh yeah, I was just realizing, no way.
Well, there that is.
And it was the Broadway cast of Cabaret, so you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you saw Famous Nipple.
I saw Famous Nip.
Wow.
I know, it was nice. It was a nice day. Like I said, you could just take some things as a trophy home, you know? Like,
yeah.
Nothing has to happen. You could just be like, I saw something great today.
Asking people to come up by spreading your weird agenda.
How? What agenda is that? I'm confused, though.
So, Charlie, I'll say this. We'll end on this and we'll go to the next question.
What's weird about it? You haven't identified what you don't like.
Wait.
Oh, she's going back to grab it again.
How can you antagonize someone if in order to antagonize them, they have to consciously walk up to talk to you? It's not like he's going around and like going, meh, meh,
right,
meh to everyone. Unfortunately, she exposed herself without knowing it. And the girl behind her is the one with the pokey pokies.
Oh, the smiley face.
Yeah.
The little.
Yeah. I mean, ladies.
The one whose
Bras
nipples seem like they're way
good.
too high to be real.
Bras are good.
I like bras.
Padded bras are good.
I know that we had that whole free the nip thing, and I agree. You shouldn't.
I don't know. No.
You shouldn't like feel uncomfortable if you have like a thin bra and your nipples are slightly visible.
Yeah, but if there are men walking around you, you have to understand that men are
Gonna look
sexualized
at
creatures. Yeah.
So that's why I say I'm fine with not wanting to feel uncomfortable, but you gotta know that people are gonna fucking look. Wear a bra. I'm sorry if you like they make things. If you don't want to wear a physical bra, tape your nipples down, band-aids over your nipples, fucking something, guys. Like, you can have all the freedom you want with your clothing, but be modest. Don't be upset at people because you chose to wear something that's not flattering.
When I wore my, I had a white tube top that I used to wear, but the bra was really thin, so I did put band-aids
over your nipples. It's a real thing.
Because I don't want anyone to look, you know what I mean? Like, that's...
Agenda.
How? What agenda is that? I'm confused, though.
So, Charlie, I'll say this. We'll end on this and we'll go to the next question. When I was 18, and I'm not going to blame you for this, I also took for granted a lot of the stuff that the media force-fed me, because that's what you know at the age of 18. You say there are some vague laws making their way through Congress that are hostile to trans community.
Know how?
I don't think those laws actually exist, but I don't blame you if that's what the cable media is feeding you. But let's get to the specifics, and then we're able to actually have an open dialogue. And that's one of the things I've learned over the last 20 years.
I think that the issue is we're getting our media from different sources. Both people are getting media from these skewed sources. The facts that you're presenting are not always correct.
And that's why we're here with no TV screens between us. So people who have policy-based substantive disagreements, we invite those. I think that's how we're going to get our country back. And as it relates to trans, which you brought up, 18 or above, you're free to live how you want. You're not free to force that onto somebody else, or especially kids. And if we agree on that, we make some progress. Thank you.
Just
get out. Did you hear that?
I heard it.
Because you know that she was going to keep trying to go, and that's why they were like, leave, bitch.
She didn't come up with any specifics. She's just like, you guys are bad because you're against abortion and LGBTQ stuff. I have no examples. You're just bad. That doesn't help. Like, how are they bad? You have to give specifics and examples. You can't just say, you're bad, you're against this. Why? Well, specifically, what do you think I'm against? I need to know what that is in order to have this debate with you,
I'm so
and she's not
curious.
giving that. So it's like, why did you come up in the first place?
What is your major? Because I'd love to see a book report from you. The book was good. I liked it.
It showed a lot of racism, though. I didn't like that. It's inherently racist because of Penguin's publishing house. They're racist because the Penguin is half black, half white.
Like half white, black, half white.
Anyway, thanks for coming and watching this video with us. Did you think it was on purpose, the nip slip?
Did you?
I don't think it was. You think it was. That's why
Are
we're
you
asking them.
for real right now?
Yeah, I am.
You really don't think she did that on purpose? No, like I need to have this conversation with you before we go. 'Cause,
No,
like,
I just think maybe she had a nip itch and, didn't feel the breeze. I don't know. I'm not like that as a woman, but I've
why
seen
would
women do.
any other woman be like that? You cited a trans woman, which, like, if by your own logic, you. That's not valid. You think men know when their nipples are out? God, no.
No, that's why I was saying.
So then
that.
why are you comparing her to a man?
I wasn't comparing her. I was saying that majority of the time when I've seen boobs
Ladies,
pop out, it's
in the comments.
on men.
Do your titties just fall out sometimes? Do you itch your nipple in front of everyone? Like what? How do you live this long? How do you live this long and never had a nipple itch where someone was like, put it away? How did you get this far in life? It had to be intentional. I cannot believe anything else. I can't.
Join our memberships and like and subscribe. Have a good one.
I feel like this is a good debate for us to have right now.
Telling people how to refer to you when you're not there. Saying you're a woman doesn't cut it just 'cause you grew out your hair. Not trying to be mean, not trying to be